Dual rappers, Dane and Samuel on the mic.
D-Money.
Where's this gonna go? Okay.
Word to your mother.
Yes, we be on the mics. We're making this up on another Monday night. What a Monday. What you say? Usually we do this on a Saturday. Dane, do you got a flow? The viewers really want to know.
Yes, sir. I work at this place. I can't tell you the name, but my podcast is for the fame. Yeah, T Swift is single. She tell me she want to mingle.
On Christian Mingle, you messed it up. You had a perfect chance. Oh my word.
Fine, delete it. Let's do it over.
Yeah, no, this is it. This is episode 15 of the Until Next Week podcast. Dane's still working on his freestyle rapping.
Sorry, I'm not on dating apps.
Oh my word. You had a perfect chance, but
well,
yeah,
she's not a Christian, right?
Thanks for listening. Hey, you never know.
You never know.
So yeah, episode 15, we back. I bet you didn't expect to have two guys on the mic.
'Cause you were not alone, and I'm here with you.
Keep going.
I don't know the next verse.
Yeah, that was good though. That was good. Yeah, the freestyle rapping. I think we will wait to go on tour with that. Probably at least a few more weeks. What are your thoughts, Dane?
I think that it was so good that we should open for somebody.
Who should we open for?
I mean,
Anybody?
I would hate to do it for somebody.
Would
who's
it have to
in
be like country?
No, maybe a former country artist.
Former country artist. Are we going with Miley Cyrus?
No.
Are we going with
Darius Rucker?
No. Carrie Underwood?
Do love me some Carrie Underwood, but no.
Oh, okay. How about...
She is a female, though.
Oh, you're thinking it should be a she?
It should be a she. Get a little balance going.
Ooh, could it be me? E?
What?
What? What about Taylor Swift?
Oh, that's perfect.
Yes.
Because she's single.
Oh, and she's ready to be on Christian Mingle.
This is where we should impart some sad music. But
I don't want to do that. So now it's going to be awkward.
All right.
But yeah, she's single. Dane, can you believe it?
I can believe it because I'm not currently in her DMs.
Why not? You have a perfect opportunity right now.
People are speculating that Joe Alwyn, what's his name?
So she was dating Joe Alwyn, but honestly, it's more of an all loss.
Dang it!
Because why?
He didn't win.
I know. Like obviously, like what's the holdup here?
Well, the holdup was that he was really threatened by me.
Yeah.
And Joe, if you're listening to this, first off,
he is. He's a listener.
Yeah, of course.
I think. Okay. I didn't want to say it, but I think we're the reason that they broke up.
Are we the wedge?
I think he heard how we talked about her, especially like early on when we really bumped her up, especially with those Rolling Stones lists. And we said she should be higher on the list.
Yeah, go off, Samuel.
She felt jealous. Or he felt jealous.
He felt jealous.
And then she also listened and she was like, you're just not holding up your end of the bargain. Like they talk about me in ways that you never have.
That's so true.
Yeah. And then also he was just like, I don't talk about you this way. And he's like, I can't hold up this standard anymore.
Yeah.
Like there's other people out there, especially this Dane Beesmeyer in Springfield, Missouri, who's just a better fit for you.
Taylor, if you're listening, add me on Snapchat.
Yeah. Or Instagram.
No, Snapchat.
Only Snapchat? That's the only way?
I don't use Snapchat.
Well, I don't know how you'd be in her DMs if you're not using Snapchat, but she sends you Snapchats. Wouldn't that be awkward? Like
let's
a few
talk
years
about
down
this.
the road, you look at your Snapchat like, oh, Taylor Swift has been snapping me, and I haven't looked this whole time. After you told her to add you on Snapchat, what's the deal?
Well, the deal is I don't talk to people on Snapchat because that's a childish way of talking to people.
But what if it was Taylor Swift?
If it was Taylor Swift, I would say, thank you for your interest in my body. However,
That's all she would say, like, hey, Dane, and then you'd be like, thank you for your interest in my body.
Thank you for your interest in my body, but my eyes are up here and my number is... blah, 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 blah.
Wait, what was it again?
It was 573.
That was not what you said the first time.
You're right. It's 417.
No, that's not what you said.
7777.
No, you're not Aaron Sachs.
It was 417-333-3333.
Okay, Brad. Oh, Springfield, Missouri humor. If you're in Springfield, Missouri, you know who these people are.
Yeah.
But what if she calls those numbers now instead of you?
Fine. Taylor, if you want to call me, my number is... We give her.
Yeah, there you go. Like she know. Like I'm surprised you shared your number on the pod.
Yeah. She's gonna get the premium content version though. That has the real number.
Oh. No, that was a real number.
That's
why I had to bleep it out.
The non-bleeped number is what I mean.
Oh,
she gets the non-bleeped number. Yeah.
So she gets your number and your Snapchat?
Yeah, and the rest of the fans too. It's Dane Shortstop.
Okay. But the real question is, with this new breakup news, do you think that could have made an impact on our draft a couple weeks ago? I know not everybody loved the draft, and I can see how people would not like it, but we run out of ideas sometimes, so that was the idea,
Well, I think he would have made it because this was a guy who...
Are you reading his Wikipedia page again? Oh, good job.
I'm actually giving you analysis here.
Hey, let's go.
You remember Daniel Jones a few years ago when he had a breakaway touchdown run, but he fell on like the 15-yard line or whatever?
That's actually... I'm liking this example here.
That's exactly what Joe had. He had a breakaway touchdown, and then the turf monster got him.
Well,
By turf monster, I mean our podcast.
Well, definitely. I completely agree with your analysis. But yeah, like with Daniel Jones, I think he made it like probably 90% down the field.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with this relationship because, I mean, they had about 25 songs that I think were either written about each other or that I think Joe helped Taylor write.
Yeah.
And that is definitely 90% of the way there. Like, you have to have 30 songs before you can get married.
I mean, once you've reached like 30 songs together, it's like, at that point, you've been through so much together. So it's like, let's just figure it out, guys.
Yeah. I mean, they were only at the 25 song mark. So, I mean, he had a reason, or she had a... I mean, let's be honest. She probably broke up with him because why would you break up with her?
According to close sources, by that I mean the people I had dinner with tonight, they said it was mutual.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where were their inside sources? Because I don't think I've seen this yet.
I did not ask, and I found out about it via the internet last night. So, as probably everybody found out about it. So,
yeah, I think I've known about it for a couple days now, maybe. I don't really know when I first heard the news, but I was pretty shocked, understandably.
Yeah.
Like, this has been a thing going on for a while.
I didn't think she would be able to date somebody for more than like 3 or 4 albums.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I thought you were going to say years. She just went 3 or 4 albums. Honestly, I think it was like 5 or 6. Like, she really cranked them out, especially during like COVID time.
Gosh.
And she has so many albums. I know you love our analysis of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So we will definitely do a draft of either probably our favorite songs of hers sometime in the near future. We'll make sure to let you all know so that way you can tell your Swiftie friends and other fans so they can listen to the analysis on the Until Next Week podcast. Make sure to follow our Instagram at the Until Next Week podcast Instagram. Leave us 5-star reviews on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you can leave us reviews. If you leave us less than 5-star reviews, we will be mad at you.
I need to tell you something.
Yeah, tell me.
My hips are tighter than a snare drum.
Ooh, can I feel?
No. Pause.
Oh.
As the kids say.
Yeah.
Or my KLF kids will just be like, sorry, I was lagging.
Yeah, your Caleb kids are rowdy, and we're not going to go into all the rowdiness, but you need to lead them better, Dane.
I told them that they were all a menace to society.
And that's why they acted out in society.
Yeah, that's the last time I ever do something nice to them.
You spoke truth into their lives, and they ran with it. And then you got mad, and then it was really your fault.
I won't share the bad part of what they did.
Yeah, it was rough.
That was ridiculous. I talked to them about that. But it was bottomless popcorn night. So one of them goes, hey, I'm going to get bottomless popcorn. And then his friend goes with him. And I was like, all right, come right back. 3 innings later, which is like an hour, they come back. Mr. Dank, can you sign the waiver, be our dad so we can play on the playground equipment? No, sit down. And since it was bottomless popcorn, they went and got some, and then they started throwing it at each other, hitting it out of each other's hands. And then one kid was like trying to jump up and be like, put me on the Jumbotron, put me on the Jumbotron.
Was that Michael?
No, yeah, it was Michael.
Speaking of Michael Fuller, yes, we know you're probably wondering, he's not on the podcast. Or he's being very silent because we muted him for obvious reasons.
Michael, anything to say?
Nope. We muted you, so you can't say anything. But in reality, we were having technical difficulties, which is the reason he is not on the podcast this week.
By that, I mean, he refused to be on the podcast tonight.
I think he was with like family or something. Like, come on.
Oh, whatever.
Your family's better than being on the most popular podcast in Southwest Springfield, Missouri.
Imagine bringing honor to your family by being on this podcast.
We'll make a man out of you when you're on this podcast.
That was such a good movie.
Oh, man. We weren't even going to talk about this, but Mulan?
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Mushu.
Eddie Murray was so funny. That soundtrack was fire.
Not the baseball player.
Murphy.
Baseball player?
Murphy.
Okay, there we go.
Murphy.
We are all over the place, but this actually does bring back to a later topic. Eddie Murphy looks like Jordan Walker.
I have not studied him that much, but yeah.
It's just like online, all these, especially like Twitter and stuff, people are like, oh my word, is that Eddie Murphy? Like, no, that's a 20-year-old Jordan Walker, a stud of a baseball player, but that's about the only bright side for the Cardinals baseball team at this point.
And why is that, Samuel?
Because they are currently horrible. They are 3-6, but I think they do have a big upside coming up. Not Taylor Swift. Oh, man, I only can talk about Taylor Swift on this podcast.
I understand.
I really just want to make sure the fans are still listening.
This is a safe place, Samuel.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I talk about Taylor Swift. But I don't even know. Adam Wainwright, same person. They both sing. One does country music. One did do country music. But yeah, Adam Wainwright, he should be back soon in the rotation. I think that should help solidify some things, and the Cardinals will start winning. They'll finish over 500, win the World Series, etc.
Well, Woodford had a good start yesterday.
Yeah, he did better. I still don't have high hopes for the rotation where it is. I think Wainwright will solidify it, make it better, and then also throw in Woodford or someone else back in the bullpen will help us get rid of Jordan Hicks, who cannot throw a strike to save his life.
I talked about this with my family this weekend, and they're like, hey, we need to trade Carlson, we need to trade O'Neill and Hicks. And I was like, yes, on Carlson and O'Neill. Hicks is...
Why would you trade Carlson and O'Neill?
Well, in this situation, it would be Nootbaar in center. You give Burleson a shot in left.
But then who's the backup?
Well, I mean, Edmund can play everywhere.
Yeah, but I don't think you want him as backup because I see him being traded probably in the next couple of years.
Well, that would be kind of the idea is you'd bring up Mesa Win in this scenario too.
Yeah, I think with Tommy Edman, you don't want him in the outfield. I don't think his bat's good enough to be in the outfield. That's why
a good enough arm.
All his value is in his defense.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not in shortstop or second base, his value is pretty much diminished because you don't want that kind of bat in the outfield, like a 260, no power bat.
Well, how about Donovan?
I mean, yeah, but he's second base.
Well, he can play outfield.
Yeah, I again, not a huge power bat right now. Like he's shown some upside, but I don't know where he'll go forward. So I think currently it makes more sense to have Carlson or O'Neill and then see what happens in the future. But
I'd say of the two, get rid of O'Neill because Carlson, former number one prospect for the Cardinals, and I think he, like Marmol, hates O'Neill. So
yeah, that was a whole bad situation where he yelled at him for not hustling, and I mean he didn't really hustle. In all honesty, I watched the replay, but he does have a huge upside if he can just figure out how to hit again
and stay healthy.
Yeah, that's been a big issue, and I do like Carlson a lot too, but he's just hasn't been able to hit consistently.
Yeah. Bottom line, Marmol should have taken care of that in house.
Yeah,
he should not have aired it publicly.
Mm-hmm. In house,
but also, Hicks is the definition of a guy that we're going to get rid of, and he's going to become a star somewhere else. So much talent.
But the thing is, like, he wants to be a starter. We tried him as a starter. He's just not that great. Like, he can throw really hard, but ever since he had, like, Tommy John surgery, he's just gone downhill.
That's all he can do is throw hard.
Yeah, like, he can throw incredibly hard, but he can't find the strike zone. And honestly, I don't know what other coaches would do to help him help him find the strike zone because he's getting plenty of opportunities with the Cardinals to pitch, and he's pretty much blowing all of them.
Imagine having Randy Rosarena and Sandy Alcantara on this team.
Honestly, I mean,
I understand why.
Randy was not. He was a different deal, and he was from Matthew Liberatore, and I think actually Alec Burleson.
Really?
I think Burleson might have been the other pick potentially.
Huh.
So that deal isn't as bad as what it looked like originally.
Right.
The Alcantara and Gallen trade for Ozuna. It was not the best looking back, but at the time we had like no offense, so it made sense. I was a big fan of the trade. Most people were big fans of the trade.
Till he beat his
honestly, hindsight is 40-40.
And we don't have any of those players on our team, a 40-40 player.
Exactly. But yeah, baseball's back. We'll probably try to give you weekly updates if you like it or not. Besides that, we don't really care about most of other baseball teams, but the Rays have won 10 games in a row, which is relevant.
I like the Rays.
Because Rosarena is on the team. And
again,
also
imagine that.
A local guy who played at Kickapoo High School. My brother played with him in high school. I think
Jake
his name's,
Berger.
No.
He
high school. Mason Auer, I believe. He's in their minor league system. He had a huge minor league year last year. He was in the Arizona Fall League. He'll probably make the majors at some point. I think they said at this point he's one of the strongest players already, in all baseball. So he has major upside. I'm excited to see local guys make the major leagues.
You know who else is strong?
Not your soccer team.
Okay. So I had to crack a cold dew early tonight, guys.
Yeah.
We got I mean, everybody was...
No. Do not say we. I am not on that team. That's you.
Yeah. Well, I meant like we as our team.
Okay.
And, we got beat 12-3, and it was not close that close. It was an absolute slaughter fest. And I'll say my teammates play hard and everything. And I was, oh man, the things I was saying to myself in the goal cannot be repeated on national television. And I was so mad.
It was, Dane, do better.
Yeah,
you didn't want people to hear that. Like,
it was dadgummit.
Oof. Oh wow. I don't know. I might have to bleep that.
I said, gee willikers.
Oh, no, not that either. That's bad. What are you doing? But what else was happening in that game? Like, why did you fail 4 field goals to 1 field goal?
I mean, it was like the team that we were playing, they were really good. They had a lot of current and former players on their team, like soccer players.
Well, I mean, you're jumping in Taylor Swift's DMs. You're kind of a player.
I am a player.
Bang, bang.
But it was a lot of like, we like shoot a shot and it would just get blocked before we even got to the goal, and we weren't getting rebounds off the goal. And then it was a lot of like our transition defense wasn't great. But,
yep.
I mean, my teammates did what they could, and I just need to be better, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like this is a situation like LeBron James. Whenever he loses, everybody always blames him. They're like, hey, you're just not the best. You're not the best. But people don't look at the rest of his team, who for a lot of this year was pretty rough. And I think it's the same situation with you. Like, Dane, he thinks he's the best. He thinks he's the best. No, he loses. It's like, no. You got to look at the whole team. Like, you're the LeBron James of the Southwest Missouri, Springfield, Missouri soccer. That's what you play. Soccer league. Yeah. We're in Wisconsin now.
No. I mean, no, I'm definitely not the best player. I would say...
Who is the best player?
This guy named Jeb.
Ooh.
He plays for Evangel, so...
Okay, I had no idea who that was. I thought he might have been part of like the Amish community.
I don't know. Super cool guy.
Okay.
I think he's friends with
Jebediah?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I just called him Jeb.
Okay, Jeb.
Honestly, what impressed me most with him was his defense. Like, he was cutting off angles, knew where people were going to go before he even started. Helped me out a lot.
That's good.
And never got tired. And also, shout out to everybody I got dinner with tonight.
Yeah, that's the reason we're recording this late on a Monday. True. I mean, yeah, we had Easter and everything else, but then I was like, okay. Dane's like, hey, we have a game at 6 o'clock. We can record after. I'm like, okay, I'll go work out. Give around 7:30. He's like, yeah, I'll be over at your house sometime soon. Not your house, my own house.
Yeah.
You can just go over. So I came over. I'm like, nope, still not here. I feel like he's probably getting dinner. And then he walks in. He's like, yeah, I got dinner. I'm like, wow.
I got
go
dinner
figure.
with great supporters of the podcast. That's why we got dinner, because they wanted to support the podcast.
Okay. Did they do a little GoFundMe?
No.
Okay. GoFund you?
No.
Okay.
Mia Weiserma. Chloe Regier.
Who actually is a big fan. She keeps on saying how she wants to be on the podcast.
True. She said that to me tonight.
I didn't know if I believed her at first, but then she showed me her phone at one of the last K-Life meetings, and she showed that she was subscribed, and I think our podcast was one of the first ones like on her list.
Perfect.
So she either did that right beforehand, so make her look better to us.
True.
Or she truly is a fan. I think she
Both.
is a fan, and I was going to make a joke there, but I'm not going to.
And Abby Palmer.
Yes.
Keaton Bliss.
Okay.
Kara Lattimore.
Yes.
And Sexy Lemons.
That Instagram name is so bad. I didn't realize it for so long. Whenever you would say it, I'm like, what are you talking about? And I guess I just never read it right. I don't have dyslexia, but I did there.
Do you want to explain it for the people who don't know?
I don't want to. You can if you want.
Her name is Lexi Simmons, and she just switched the first letters of her first and last name. And her Instagram name is Sexy Lemons.
So that's what Dane calls her.
No, it's not just what I call her. It's what everybody in K-Life calls her.
I don't.
Sometimes I'll just go short and I'll say, hey, Lemons.
Oh, I thought it'd be...
Hey, Sexy. That
would be so bad.
That'd be so out of pocket.
People with no context. You're at a K-Life meeting at church, or you're at a K-Life event meeting parents. You just say that to her like, what's going on here?
I would say that, and Joe would just be like, hey, yo.
Hold up. Get out of here.
You can't say that, Dane. Every woman as either your mother or your sister until you're married.
That is that's out of pocket.
That's rich.
That's funny right
there. Did
there.
you know Zach Oh, no, never mind. He wasn't pitching tonight. Never mind.
Great topic right
Yeah.
there.
I thought he was pitching, but he wasn't.
Oh, okay. But something else about our podcast is we can't explain it to anyone. The amount of times I've been asked, like, hey, what's your podcast about? And I just kind of give them a blank stare, and I'm like, I have no idea. And Dane is rubbing his belly right now. That's not how I define it.
I'm full.
Yeah, but Dane, how would you define our podcast?
Have you ever... Well,
Yep.
it's a two-man odyssey
Mm-hmm.
through the great abyss that we call the natural world, seeking our way into what we would call heaven.
Is that it?
While also
Okay, comma. What?
providing good laughs, entertainment, and a dang good time.
I think I should change our description on Spotify to say that, because I think that's truly what will draw people in.
It's mostly a two-man odyssey.
Yeah. I think I usually say is a podcast about nothing, and then people follow up with like, but what do you talk about? I'm like, just current events, whatever's on our mind. Sometimes we rank Taylor Swift's boyfriends if they were on a basketball team.
Sometimes the Korean War.
Yeah, we literally anything and everything and things that you would even think about. That's what we talk about. Just listen to us. And then I usually follow up with, but listen to one of our recent ones first. And then if you like it, then go through. Or if you want to enjoy the journey, start with the first episode and hear us improve as we go along.
We say things that would like get us executed in other countries.
I mean, having a podcast in general might do that. I mean, in North Korea, you can't have anything.
That's true. And talking about Jesus in Middle East, China.
And speaking of North Korea, we do not have any new countries to listen to.
North Korea is not listening to us?
I know. Well, unless it doesn't show up on our analytics.
I saw this somewhere on the internet where it was North Korea. Somebody snuck in a season of some show, and they were sentenced to 10 years in prison.
It's probably worth it, though.
Well, I don't know
what show was it?
I can't remember, but it was some it was like Friends or something, a common show.
Okay, not worth it anymore.
But yeah, like if you bring outside content into the world, you get 10 years in prison.
Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be crazy.
North Korean listener listens to Until Next Week podcast,
Risking
gets 10
life.
years in prison.
Risking life.
Says
too.
it was worth it for the laughs.
No, man. What a fan.
That would get us so many
What a
plays.
fan.
Like everybody would start listening and be like, "Really? This is what it was?" But then they'll love it, and you'd be with Taylor Swift.
So true. And
It's
speaking
a circle of life.
of Taylor Swift, someone who's blonde, also like Taylor Swift, Bella Gerteaser is off the market, ladies and gentlemen.
This was not in our notes, just so you know.
Well, I thought it came to my head,
Okay,
therefore I had to
do
say
you have
it.
any other thoughts on this, Dane?
Yeah.
We've talked about her and Bob in the past.
She's
and
engaged to Bobby.
I think we talked about how, I think you were like, does Bob know her middle name?
Rose.
He knows now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Rose.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we really have to say about this.
Yeah, congratulations, you crazy Wildcats.
Way to go. Get your head in the game.
Gotta get your head in the game. Gotta get your head in the game.
Get your head in the game with, okay, this is again.
With our next topic,
what's our next topic?
basketball.
Basketball. We're talking basketball. That was a transition.
I'm playing basketball.
And you're losing soccer games.
I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry I brought dishonor to us all.
Yeah. We're running back to Mulan. We're all these tiebacks.
We'll bring honor to us all.
I hope this doesn't hurt your brain because we are jumping
I love
everywhere. But it's great. It's a Monday night. We don't record on Mondays, so you're getting a little extra craziness.
True. One of my favorite songs of all time is I'll Make a Man Out of You. Mm-hmm. I scream it in the car sometimes.
I can totally see that. I mean, it's a complete vibe. But other complete vibes are the NCAA basketball tournament, which we are horrible at predicting.
Depends on how you define horrible.
We did not get any game right, like at all. Like it was so bad.
That sounds horrible.
I think I did have UConn in the championship game. I did not have them winning at all, and they won it all. And who did you have winning it all? Do you know?
I had nobody because I didn't make one.
Yeah, we talked about it on the podcast like I think a week or two ago, but you definitely did not pick UConn, and you definitely put me on your Be Real right there.
Why would I do that?
You do that all the time. I usually don't notice, but this time I was looking. So if you find Dane's Be Real, make sure to follow him. I don't know what it's called, but I am one of his friends. But find Dane Beesmeyer's Be Real if you want to be real. That's basically our Patreon.
Might be real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
My K-Live kid, I just posted this, and then he reacted to it seconds later.
That is fast.
That's ridiculous.
That is nuts, honestly. Also, I think there was maybe somebody who followed our podcast this week who I don't think either of us followed. So I'm like, who are you? Like, I honestly am curious. I don't. If you want to keep talking, I can look up his name.
Yeah. So I just put on my Be Real, which no one's allowed to have it. What we're talking about, people. And so UConn won the game. Iowa and Caitlin Clark not pull through, so she's no longer a guest on the podcast.
That surprised me so much. I thought they were going to win it all, and then they blew it.
Well, LSU had a better team, and there's big controversy over the game.
But I mean, this did kind of get blown out.
Well, there was controversy.
Controversy?
Yeah, with Angel, what's her face?
Hernandez.
No.
The worst umpire in
We
baseball.
will not have Angel Hernandez, Joe West, or some other dude.
Just umpires in general. But I want to keep going on the controversy.
Yeah, controversy because, and I'll talk about the facts.
Just only facts.
I won't say my side
all,
of it.
That's our podcast is facts only.
So Caitlin Clark, best NCAA basketball player currently.
Probably of all time. She's going to break the all-time scoring record in 4 years. If she did 5 years, she would break it by like 1,000 points.
But that's illegal.
Well, she can still go 5 years because of COVID and all that, but I hope she doesn't go 5 years because that'll just be dumb for total records.
True.
Yeah.
But so she is a kind of eccentric player that'll be very like kind of, some call arrogant, some call it confident. Depends on who you are.
I forgot about this, but keep going.
Yeah, and so like for instance, she'll do like the John Cena can't see my face, like waving her hand in front of her face.
Yeah.
Or she'll like not guard somebody out on the 3-point line and like wave her hand at them, like, oh,
yeah. It's like, hey, how you doing out there? Waving all nice.
Not like that, no. Like, oh,
come in here and score. You're so close.
No, like forget about it. Like I'm not gonna guard you. And so then in the championship game, when in the like final like few minutes when they're losing, this Angel girl, I can't remember her last name.
I just want to point this out before you say it. I believe this was actually after the game and the handshake lines.
No, it was during the game.
Okay, keep
going. I was watching the game. But so this Angel girl, like Caitlin Clark's kind of walking away, and she gets like up in her face and like it does the "you can't see me" thing, and then Caitlin like turns around and starts walking the other way, and Angel keeps like following her and doing like "you can't see me" and pointing to like her ring finger, like, "Oh, give me that ring." She wasn't saying that, but. And it was just like that. And then some people were like, well, that's disrespectful. That's going too far. And it's like, I don't know.
I don't want to get into this because it could get dicey quick. But
that's another dude.
Honestly, her doing it, I'm fine with. I'm not fine with her following the other person. I think that was the main thing that made it an issue. Yeah. If she just does it, especially like to her other teammates or like even from a distance, I don't really care. Yeah. I think the whole issue came from her following the other girl to try to get in her face and show it to her. Yeah. Just like, look at me. And then everybody, especially on the media, is just trying to make it a big deal. And it's like, no, this is okay. Oh, this is horrible. And everything else. And it's like, I am biased, but I honestly think the whole issue was that she did follow her and try to like get in her face and do it. And I think that's where people say there's an issue, but some people don't want to look at it that way.
I agree for sure. Like if you're gonna like if you dish out, you got to be able to take it too. Mm-hmm. And so when she does the same thing back to her, it's like whatever. Yeah. But then like she keeps following her, and I'm like, dude. And then like free throws at the other end, she's doing it again, and I'm like, dude. Like Caitlin had 40 or plus points in the game. That Angel girl had 15 points.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlin Clark definitely outplayed her. But this LSU had a better team. And I know, like, afterwards, I think both of them said they had, like, no bad blood towards each other. And I think Caitlin Clark even says, like, yeah, I mean, she can do that. And, like, it is what it is, basically.
Yeah. Speaking of
which is a very good response, I think, on her part.
True. I know somebody who babysat her growing up.
Are you serious?
You know this person, too.
Who is it?
Her last name is Martins.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
How did I not know this?
I don't know. She just told me that one day. She we were talking about her, me and a group of people, and then she goes, "Oh, I used to babysit that girl. We're literal neighbors."
Jess babysitted Caitlin Clark?
That's what she claims.
What in the world? How does this not come out earlier?
I don't know.
That is crazy.
Jess isn't very sporty, but so that might be
that is honestly nuts. That is so. Hey, we can get Caitlin Clark on the podcast.
We got very
Jess,
real connections.
Get us Caitlin Clark for the podcast. We take back everything we said about her not being on the podcast because she didn't win the championship. She can be on now just because of that. We can talk about ask her if you were a good babysitter or something. Who knows?
I bet she's being asked to be on all kinds of podcasts.
Yeah, but hey, by her babysitter's life friends, I don't know. I couldn't talk right there.
Maybe so.
But also, I found the Instagram user who followed our podcast, which I don't see any connections, but maybe you do. Jacob Ball.
Nope, don't know who that
No
is.
idea. So Jacob Ball, if you're out there, send us a DM. That would be cool. If you want to, send us a voice memo. We'll play it on the podcast if it's good.
Heck, we'll even play a picture right here on the podcast.
We're not. Yeah. See, the picture is on the podcast right now. There we go. But yeah, Jacob Ball, our newest fan, I guess. You're awesome. Yes, clap, 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 just like they do at the Masters. But we don't talk about golf around here.
You know what I'm thinking about, Samuel?
You're talking about that sweet Mountain Dew.
I'm on number 2 because it was a horrible night of soccer.
Oh, you're going to soccer again?
No, that's not the transition. But I'm on
Okay.
number 2 because I got home and I needed a stiff drink to put out these flames, and because we were set on fire, and it was not good.
That's always rough.
And so,
Yeah.
what we need to know is how you're doing in softball.
Oh, I forgot I was going to talk about that. Yeah, so obviously we've talked about our weekly baseball news with
Are you
Jordan
undefeated?
Walker, Cardinals, etc. But also softball season's back. I'm representing my team well, the Dad Bods. Not representing them well with my body form because I walked up to bat and one of the catchers was like, "That's a pretty bad dad bod." I'm like, "Yeah, I got recruited late." Okay?
Get in shape, Samuel.
I'm like, yeah, get in shape by getting out of shape. That's what I should do for my team.
Well,
Like, hey, get out of shape. That's how they should heckle me.
that's true. But it begs the question that everybody's thinking right now.
What is that?
Samuel, do you prefer men with dad bods?
Not really, but also they're awesome too. I take back. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. I prefer myself not in a dad bod form because as a former swimmer, that does not go well. But some people can rock it, you know, and some people put that weight into the softball and make it go a mile, and I respect that.
Would you like to hear a harrowing tale about fortitude and perseverance?
Not really. So, but the rest of my softball game, I hit pretty well. My legs got pretty tired by the end of it, and I hit one dinger. Like it was a bomb. It hit off the light pole, made a big bang, and I know my team was happy because the coach has to buy the balls, and luckily it bounced back in play.
No, that's
So
perfect.
he was like, "Oh, there we go." Because usually he's like, "You're getting rid of all my balls." I'm like, "Hey, you put me on the team. You want me to do stuff.
Do you
Here
want to win,
go."
Frank?
Yeah, I'm
Frank?
basically Frank Thomas. Did
Frank
you
the
actually
Tank?
want to say anything else?
No, not anymore. You hurt my feelings. Anyways,
Okay, that's good.
I'm kidding.
So you do want to say stuff?
No, I was kidding about the feelings part.
Okay, I'm still confused. Do you want me to go to the next topic?
Do you want me to share a harrowing journey about
Yes, do
fortitude?
it. I'm
Okay,
ready.
fine. Easter weekend was this weekend. I go home.
It was last weekend
Okay, last weekend.
because it's Monday.
Right.
It was yesterday. Yeah, it was Easter.
yesterday. Yeah, so went home for it Friday.
He is
right?
risen.
He is risen. Jesus.
He is risen indeed.
Our verse of the day will come here in a second.
Yes.
So,
A needle.
I drive
pull
home.
Thread.
dang it. I drive to Jeff City. That's where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
And I got...
Listen to the podcast the whole way. Obviously.
I wouldn't listen. I live the podcast. Anyways. So I drive all the way home. And as you know, I got my new car or whatever. So then I have 2 sets of keys. Regular keys that I carry around every day. And then the one with all my like house keys and stuff on it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so then I get there and all the doors are locked, but my stepsister's cars are out front, and I'm like, it's 10:15. Everybody's still up, right? It's Friday night.
Does she listen to the podcast?
I don't know. I told him about it, though.
You need to call her sometime. Not now because we're running a little later.
She's
but
definitely better.
One of these days, you need to get her on the podcast so she will listen to herself on the podcast.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Anyway. But, so I'm like, oh boy, all these doors are locked. And so then I call my dad.
Therapist.
No. I call my dad, my stepmom, my stepsister, my sister, my other sister.
How many people does it take to open the door?
Called my brother.
Yeah.
And I called 5 people. None of them answered.
Mm-hmm.
And then my phone dies. And I'm like,
How did you make it home?
well, I know. So then my first thought in my head was, oh, my back seat's lay down. I'm gonna spend the night in the car. But then I was like, wait, I kind of remember my siblings using a spare key or something like that, and I was like, but it could be anywhere. Like I live on 250 acres. It could literally be anywhere. I mean, probably close to the door, but
yeah.
So then I'm like, well, maybe
Did you check the ignition?
No, because the key is not to the ignition is not the same to the key of the house.
Oh, okay.
So I see my dad's truck, and I'm like, well, maybe he left the truck unlocked because he's irresponsible. And I was like, maybe he has a charger in there. So I go and I open the door, and it's open, no charger, but there's a flashlight. And I'm like, okay, well, I got a flashlight. I can just have to like look for the key. So then I search everywhere, under mats, on top of things, like I climb in everywhere. And then finally I lift up one rock, and I'm like, there it is. There's the key. And I get inside.
Why is it under a rock?
Don't know. And they never told me where this is. They claim it's been there for years, whatever. But I've also never needed it because I'm responsible like that until this time. And then I get inside. Everybody's in bed, and it's 10:30 on a Friday night. And I'm like, what the heck, guys?
Wow. That's rough.
It was rough.
Yeah. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Thanks, man.
Not that sorry, just a little sorry.
Oh. Do we have any comments from the peanut gallery?
Did you get to eat?
He asked, did you get to eat?
When?
On Friday night.
Lane said on Friday night.
Yeah, I went to the nectar of the
gods.
Well, I don't believe in secular gods. It's nectar of God.
He said a secular god.
What is a secular god?
Yeah.
Poseidon. So yes, I ended up eating Taco Bell that night, and it was delicioso.
Delicioso. That's some great Hispanic language you speak.
I am bilingual.
That is so cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Sprechen de Deutsch.
Yeah. So yeah, we're coming near the end of our podcast, but we cannot end without our weekly segment, which has never been a weekly segment, which is the Apple Podcast Reviews.
Podcast reviews.
Yeah. So Dane has not seen two of our most recent reviews, and just want to throw this out there. After you leave us a 5-star review, leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the pod if it's good or if it's bad, but it has to be 5 stars, and then you'll be read. That kind of rhymed. Lane just walked away.
As he should.
So one of our most recent ones was a good mindless listen. Sick new intro music. I was hoping the T Swift draft was going to be her songs. A bit disappointed there. Nevertheless, 5 of 5 stars as I was still entertained. Keep up the good work, Allie. And her username was Hoopster0214.
Huh.
Yeah.
No idea who Allie is.
Yeah, but we are happy you gave us those ideas because we will do that T-Swift music draft in the future because that was a great idea. And then our other rating was labeled rating, period. Well thought out intellectual talk show. I'm enjoying every moment. And that was by Coco Chanel 01. And wow. You know who that is?
I think I know who that is.
Wait, who is it? Who is it?
We have a Californian listener then.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wait, who is this person?
It's a guy named Connor.
Oh, really? Connor? Oh. Hey, who?
There's a homeless man breaking into our house.
Is that who I think it is? Oh, my word. We have one of our sponsor of the pod, Jake Trustinart, coming in the door. He didn't know we were going to be recording because it's a Monday.
Care to say a word, Jake?
What? Do you want to say any words?
Any words?
Yeah, any words.
Yeah.
Just any words.
He said any words. Thank you. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Thanks, Jake.
Jake, a lifelong Swiftie, we want to hear your blind reaction to Taylor Swift breaking up with her boyfriend.
You can come in close to the mic. How do you feel about her breakup?
Who is she dating?
I don't know.
Joe Alwyn, but more of an all loss, we think.
How long did they date?
6 years.
6 years. Around 25 songs were written about each other.
Oh, wow.
We said it should be around 30 songs before marriage, so they were right there. What do you think?
I feel sorry for her and him.
Do you think I should go after
Hopefully
her?
do well going forward. Yeah, Dane should date her.
That's what we were talking about, but he said she should jump in his Snapchat stories, but he does not use Snapchat. Do you think that's a good strategy on his part?
If it doesn't work, that'll be the reason.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Thank you for that live interview by the Jake Trustinart,
Dane
one of
will
our
need
favorite
heart.
sponsors.
You heard it here. Dane will need heart if he wants to land Taylor Swift.
You can do this.
We'll see in the second half.
You can do this. You can do this. But yes. Wow. Honestly, I think we're at a good spot just to jump into our sponsors. We already heard from our second sponsor of the pod, Jake Trust and Art.
But is he number one?
No, he's not number one. He is number two. Number one is the man, the not myth,
Not the myth.
and the legend, Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Who rose
Nazareth.
from the dead.
I lisp.
Nazareth.
Yes. Nazareth. He's risen.
He has risen from the dead, and our verse of the week is, why do you seek the living among the dead?
Because they... Wait. Why you seek the living among the dead? Yes.
That's what the angel said to Mary, and was like, hey, yo, Jesus ain't here, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, yo, he gone, fool. He's with his brothers.
He got up and was like, hey, yo.
Yo, I'm out. I'm out. Going to
He
get
didn't
that
say that.
Chick-fil-A. Except it's Sunday.
He said, I saved the world.
I gone. You see
Man.
that holy ground? I got those holy feet. Literally.
You do have holy feet. He was washing people's feet.
Well, I was because they were nailed.
Be weird if people washed my feet.
We had to do that at camp back in the day.
Also weird.
Yeah. Oh, okay, we were in the sponsors, but this is really quick. What are your thoughts on bride and groom washing each other's feet at a wedding in front of everyone?
I just expect the bride and groom to do something weird at some point in the night. And so I'm just like...
I mean, that is true.
yeah, I'm just...
Usually it's after the wedding.
Hey, yo. Welcome to the Until Next Week podcast after...
Late night.
After dark. Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead and leave me a voicemail.
Oh. That got weird.
I'm not going to say what I want to say. But
yeah, there's a lot of things I want to say today that I was like, I probably should hold back a little bit.
that's true. But I don't know. Do whatever you want. It's your day, honestly.
Okay, I guess that's true. That's true, but as an audience member, it can be a little weird, I guess. But if you want to do it, do it.
I can think of weirder things they can do.
Yeah, definitely.
So...
You could think of a lot of things, obviously, that would be weirder.
I
But
know.
Maybe we should talk about that. We should draft the weirdest things bride and groom or soon-to-be bride and groom can do during a wedding ceremony.
And maybe we'll have, I don't know, maybe somebody engaged that'll be on the pod.
Who knows?
Do you know anybody engaged?
I don't know anybody engaged. This just in.
Wait a second.
Jake Trust and Art is engaged. Oh, maybe. Yep. I think we'll have him on at some point again. This would be great. But finally, our third sponsor of the pod is the creator of our great intro and outro music and beats. It's at Real Doblar, at RealDoblar is his Instagram, otherwise known as Andrew Bartles, my guy, my boy,
Bartles.
my number one. But not really my number one because Jesus is my number one.
Facts.
But I had to say that for the sponsorship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's he makes some sick beats. Follow his Instagram. Maybe if you need a beat for your life, he can make it for you, you know?
Just something that you can keep playing every time you're walking down the street.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Along with some walk around money that Samuel's going to give you.
Tons. So much. Whenever we start making all this money, except I have not made any, but Dane has made a few dollars.
You know what I found out the other day?
What was that?
In order to get license plates on my new car, it's going to be $2,000.
That's a lot of money.
Because I got to pay property tax.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid.
That is stupid.
Yeah, because I mean, if you don't get those tags, you don't have to pay taxes
Yeah.
at all.
Ever.
Speaking of that, I have not done my taxes yet, and taxes are due in 8 days.
Samuel, I did my taxes. You
Yeah,
can do it.
I'm going to do them next weekend.
Sign up for it,
Until
yeah.
next week is when I'll do it.
Maybe next time we record, you'll have something to say. Maybe the
Yeah,
IRS will be here too.
Maybe my taxes will be done, but
Big maybe.
it's going to be a late night, and I still got to edit all this podcast. So
Right
until next week,
now.
Dane, roll that.
Roll the credit music. Goodbye.